Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Jim. So guys, after slogging through Doom 2016 and enjoying the ever-loving hell out of it, today we're going to be taking a look at Doom Eternal, because as we all know, Doom might be temporary, but Doom is eternal? No, until I got that wrong. Either way, talking about the much anticipated sequel, Doom Eternal. So without further ado, let's roll that gameplay, guys. Holy flippin' heck, guys. So, let's just jump right into this and let's talk about the story in Doom Eternal. So, story. Chronologically speaking, this takes place 8 months after Doom 2016. Doom Guy has finally returned from hell after being betrayed by Dr. Hayden at the end of Doom 2016. He is here on Earth, and he is here to kick ass and take names. And yeah, he's here pretty much to save all of humanity. 60% of humanity has been wiped out by the forces of hell. The Khan Maker, which is the, I guess, god in the game, she is on a journey to sacrifice the rest of humanity for the greater good. Because, you know, Argent Energy, which is made of people, apparently. Yes, the souls of the damned. But yeah, that's pretty much the story of the game. So you're off to kill the Khan Maker and the Hell Priest that serve her. And after you kill them, and you end up killing the Khan Maker later on in the game, you fight the Icon of Sin, which, as you may or may not know, is the final boss of Doom 2. The original Doom 2, not this Doom 2, Doom Eternal 2. Wow, this is confusing. But yes, guys, that's the story in a nutshell of Doom Eternal. So yeah, so let's talk about the meat and potatoes of the game, and that would be the gameplay. How does the game play? I mean, the game is much more faster than Doom 2016. Like, we were talking some ridiculous ass speed in the game. So, full disclosure, in the gameplay of Doom 2016, while the game is absolutely fine, this game is very much, how can I put this, a thinking man shooter, I guess you can call it. And that's been the general consensus for the game, is that it's the thinking man's shooter. And I can very much agree with that summation of the gameplay. So unlike in Doom 2016 or the lower difficulties in the original Doom and Doom 2, the fact that you can rely on super shotgun / rocket launcher / literally whatever your favorite weapon is in that game, kind of like was fun, but it wasn't very engaging to an extent. So, unlike that game, this game does force you to switch between all of your weapons. Pro tip, once you figure that out, the game becomes infinitely more fun. So, every gun has a very specific purpose in the game of like what it does for you and like what it does to certain enemies. So obviously, you know, like take for example the Arachnotron. The Arachnotron in this game, the Spider Demon as it's called on the internet, the little turret on its back, you're supposed to destroy that. You can either use sticky grenades or you can use the precision rifle. So either or, you can use those weapons to destroy that little turret. Once you take care of that, it is infinitely more easier to kill this fucking enemy. Because holy flippin' heck, guys, your first encounter with this enemy is absolutely brutal. Especially if you do what I did and you play on a higher difficulty. And then you promptly get your ass handed to you because you're still trying to play the game like Doom 2016. Talking about the gameplay and all that, and mobility is another really big thing in the game. So unlike in Doom 2016 where you have to collect the double jump, in this game you actually start off with the double jump, which is pretty goddamn amazing. You also get a dash ability which allows you to dash twice and it also allows you to air dash. Adding to the mobility of the game also has the super shotgun, which may not seem like a huge thing, but the super shotgun comes with something called the meat hook. The meat hook is something you're going to be using quite a lot, especially at higher difficulties and much more higher play. So you'll be using the meat hook either to get away from enemies or just to get closer to certain enemies, just to blast them, light them on fire once you unlock the mod for it, and killing them for a cool 20 armor bonus. Meat hook can also be used to swing around enemies as well, just to travel around the map, and you can also use the meat hook to get much more airtime as well, which will allow you greater mobility, because the game does focus on mobility quite a bit. Yeah, so obviously you get different combinations of weapons. The game will force you to use different weapons because they're effective against certain enemies. Very much in the vein of, I guess, Mega Man, you could say. Specifically more Mega Man X with the way, you know, they have the wild reactions to these weapons. On top of that, you do get grenades. The regular grenade comes back, which, by the way, may I add, having the equipment launcher on the Doom guy's left shoulder is absolutely amazing and does not break the flow of combat compared to 2016 where Doom guy would stop shooting the lava grenade physically. In this game, he has an equipment launcher that shoots those grenades, which, by the way, you can shoot 2 at a time once you get the upgrades. And you do get an ice grenade, which freezes enemies on contact, which is absolutely amazing, by the way, and comes in handy so goddamn much. Unfortunately, the Siphon Grenade does not make its return, but the Chainsaw does return, and it is oh so satisfying to get in this game and use because you literally get it in the first level of the game. And those kills are absolutely amazing. Also, along with the Chainsaw, you do get another weapon, and that would be the Crucible. A little bit more than halfway into the game, you get a giant big-ass sword, which is the thing that Dr. Hayden takes away from you at the end of Doom 2016. The Crucible. The Crucible is possibly one of the most badass weapons in the game. The Crucible comes with 3 charges, so you can use it 3 times, unlike the Chainsaw, which refills over time, so you at least have 1 unit to use. As the Crucible essentially functions as a get out of the big enemy free card, and may I add that the Crucible doesn't get as many refills as the Chainsaw. They're much more sparingly littered around levels. So if you ever see a Crucible charge, save it if you have one, because you're probably going to fight an enemy that you really don't want to fight against. I'm looking at you, Archvile and Marauder. More specifically the Archvile, because at least with the Marauder, once you figure out how to fight the goddamn Marauder, he becomes infinitely easier to deal with. The art style and the music of Doom 2016. Honestly, the really bright colors of this game really makes it look more like an arcade game than, you know, the more gritty realism of 2016, which I know for some people, this really bright art style is much more of an acquired taste, because I know some people are not going to like it, and that is completely understandable. But this gameplay, honestly, because of how fast everything moves, the really bright colors really do help out immensely when you play, especially when you're in the thick of the action, because otherwise the game just kind of looks like a giant blur, especially at high level play, which, by the way, I'm gonna say it, I did play with a controller. I am a bastard, I know. Though I am actually learning to play on keyboard on this game just because of the weapon switching. The weapon switching is everything in this game. So yes, the graphics are amazing. It uses the id Tech 7 engine, which looks absolutely stellar, I'm not going to lie. The backgrounds, the enemies, even the guns, which more closely resemble the guns in the original Doom and Doom 2, are pretty goddamn stellar. The sound design is really great. Hearing that crunch and the cracking of bones, you know, seeing the jibs fly off of enemies as you literally just douse them in bullets is pretty goddamn great. Honestly, it's amazing. The only thing I can really say is a negative is the fact that you don't get the unique death animations anymore in this game. But part of that comes down to the fact that those animations are a little long, And compared to Doom 2016, this game, if you ever fall into a hole, it doesn't automatically kill you like it did in that game. So, you know, you have to reload. You have to reload that checkpoint. In this game, instead, you just lose health and you start off at the nearest checkpoint that you were at. So it does speed the game up a lot more. There I go with that speed in that gameplay. Yet again, bleeding into art. So yes, next up is one of the game's strongest points, and that would be the music in Doom Eternal. So as you guys know, I genuinely enjoyed Doom 2016 soundtrack, and I really love this soundtrack as well. Holy flippin' heck, guys. Doom 2016 soundtrack is absolutely amazing. I mean, heck, we even got a new mix for BFG Division in Doom Eternal. Granted, you gotta go to the Repertorium to hear it, but hey, it's pretty goddamn stellar. Mick Gordon again. You can't go wrong. Like, the man can do no wrong whatsoever when it comes to Doom's soundtrack. He had a hit with Doom 2016, and he had another surefire smash in Doom Eternal. The question is, can I recommend Doom Eternal? Guys, have you not been listening to me? I have been talking about this game so flippin' much. Doom Eternal has become my new favorite first-person shooter. Forget Doom 2016. Yes, Doom 2016 is an amazing game. It brought back life back into the Doom franchise. It brought back just an extremely fun gameplay, something we hadn't seen in such a really long time. You know, besides the indie scene. Where can you buy Doom Eternal? Well, PC, Switch, Xbox, the new one, new Xbox, PS4, PS5, which on the newer generation consoles of the new Xbox and the PS5, the base version of the game, so the Xbox One version, the PS4 version, gets an upgrade to a much better version of the game. So, you know, prettier, higher frame rates and all that jazz. PC has always supported that, so hey, you know, that's a win for PC. Switch, I mean, it runs, and it actually runs even better than Doom 2016 did, or even Wolfenstein. So, yes, I recommend it. And, yeah, it's a really good game. And I'm excited to give Ancient Gods a try, or The Ancient Gods, or Tag 1 and Tag 2 as it's called. And yeah, just remember, this has been Jimmy. Remember you're loved, remember you're beautiful. Most importantly of all, guys, remember to stay absolute radical, guys. Now if you excuse me, I have to jump into Tag 1 and Tag 2 and promptly get stomped out because I already know I'm not ready for that game. So, if you excuse me, DLC is gonna kick my head in, but I look forward to it. Maybe Doom Eternal, maybe a masterpiece. Nah, it's just the engaging gameplay that I enjoy. Either way, guys, I'll catch you next time. So, later, guys.